Hey Rivas,
Hi man, how are you?
what are you doing?
So today I'm serving tongba. It's a Nepali millet wine,
Uh-huh.
and it's served with hot water with millet, fermented millet.
Mm-hmm. How did you ferment this millet? Like, what did you use?
So basically what I do is I got a millet in Indian store,
Uh-huh.
and what I did is I cooked it in a rice cooker, like we cook rice. I
Mm-hmm.
cooked it in a rice cooker, and then I sprayed it on a sheet, a plastic sheet,
Uh-huh.
for like 15 minutes, and until it gets to room temperature. Like it's just like lukewarm, like when you
Thing.
touch it's just like lukewarm. It's bit hot, and then when it's like a bit hot and cold, I just transfer it into
So
the
do you
plastic.
mean we are gonna have a bacteria?
No. It's mixed with yeast, so
Like, is
not
it
bacteria.
healthy?
Yeah, it's healthy. It's absolutely healthy.
Okay.
It's a wine,
Uh-huh.
millet wine.
Mm-hmm.
You can call it healthy, or you can call it like a homemade wine, but it's a wine. There is alcohol, so you can't dispute like
Okay.
some. Like,
So how did you get the idea of working in this thing?
basically like my my mom's mom, my
Yeah.
grandmother,
Uh-huh.
she used to make all these. So I'm brought in Eastern Development Region, so we usually get this
And
tongba.
what do you
It's
call
like
that?
our culture. It's called a tongba, like I don't know in English what it called, but in Nepal it's called tongba bhada.
Tumba
Like
bhada.
tongba storage box, like something.
Okay.
So what we do is we put this millet, like it's a fermented millet, like I have put yeast in it, so it's like more than a month, like it's more than a month and 10-15 days.
So do you mean the older it gets,
Yeah, the older
better
it
it
gets,
is?
the better it tastes, and the more alcohol portion it gets. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
So what I do is I just transfer this into this
Tumba, yeah.
Yeah, and this is actually called tongba, and here is a flat one. So we put the seeds here inside and pour hot water, like, and we leave it for 15 minutes. So it gets blended, with hot water and this mixture, and we have a flat surface, so it doesn't allow seeds to get from the pipe. So what we do, we just cover it, and then when the seed and hot water gets blended, we all just take a slurp from it. It's
And what do we
beautiful.
do with the seeds at the
Oh,
end?
we just throw it, like
just suck
we
it
can
away.
use it like 3 times. We can add water for 3 to 4 times. It's beautiful.
So we can use it
Yeah,
like,
it's a tradition. Yeah,
okay.
actually, if you go to history, it's a traditional drink.
Uh-huh.
It's a millet.
So do you think it is?
millet beer.
Do you think is it better than any beers that we get in a pub?
Yeah, it's totally different, because what we get in pub is like, we normally get it anywhere. Like if you go to any pub, like US, Australia, any kind of pub, you get like, if you spend like $8, you get any beer. But this is a homemade. This is like a traditional. You never get it. It's like a rice wine plus beer. You never get it.
What do you think is the alcohol percentage of this millet wine? You said.
Actually, to be honest, the more you mature, the more alcohol percent it gets.
So what do you think it is right now?
So I matured it like a month and 10-20 days. So it's like around 40%. Yeah,
40% of alcohol.
Yeah, it's strong. Yeah.
40% of
Yeah,
alcohol.
it's true, because I used alcohol yeast in it. Yeah, it's strong. It's a homemade, so it's strong. But it's worth tasting. Like you get if you go to any like beverage, like any store, like you go to buy any beverage, you get a Korean wine, rice wine, and all. It's similar to that, but it's a pure homemade, taught by my grandmother. So it's brilliant.
It must be really
It's
authentic.
worth
To be
trying, yeah.
honest, I think
It's a
it's gonna be
traditional,
really
yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
So do you think if you serve this in a market, do you think the
Absolutely.
people are gonna like it?
People will like it, because people always go to like out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional, it's a handmade, so yeah, people will like it anyways. They will like it. They will love it because.
So
it's
how did you get the
different.
idea of making this thing in Australia
So-
where no
so-
one actually believes in this
Yeah,
stuff?
that's a good question because I never thought of making this. I've never made this. So one day when I was called in a dinner party in my one of my, like, you know, I met a sister here in her home. So we went for a shopping and I saw in an Indian grocery store I saw a millet.
Mm-hmm.
So what I thought, oh, we can find millet. So I just thought like a random. I used to like millet wine. My grandmother used to make. So I just thought if I can get a wine yeast, the yeast you can use for a wine. Not
So do you mean the yeast that actually would ferment the thing that you get?
Thing,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
It ferments like rice, millet, you know, barley and all.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can make
yeah.
wine. Not a normal yeast that can make beer and all.
That's right.
But that you can get in Vietnamese store or Chinese store anywhere. You can get like in $3. So normally when I went there, I found the millet. So I got an idea. Okay, if I find a alcohol like a wine yeast, I can make it. So I just bought that like a $3, like $3 or $4. It's 500 gram. So I bought 2 packets. So I had no idea I would make it if I won't find that wine yeast. So I came home, I just bought this, and then when I came home, I saw that when I came home, like I used to live in Canterbury and can say in Australia, it's like a bit of Chinese and Vietnamese people around.
Did you really like the place where you lived in?
Yeah, I like it because you can find multicultural people like Chinese, Nepalese, Indian,
Aussies.
Vietnamese, Aussie, European, everything. Like it's a mixed culture area, so you can get any kind of restaurant if you want to eat, if you want to hang out, like, you know. So there were some Vietnamese and Chinese grocery stores. I went there in search of yeast that make wine, like wine yeast. Let me call it wine yeast. because
So
I
do you
don't
think
know.
it's gonna be a lit drink we're gonna have tonight?
Of course, you are gonna try it. I'm gonna try it for the first time. I made this here because if I was making in this Nepal, I had no doubt you would like it. But I made here, so of course, like in half an hour, you will know what it tastes like. So
Okay.
so where was I? So I found
Okay,
this,
so
I made it.
let's just try this and then I'll
Okay,
be
yeah.
back with you in
Sure, sure.
30 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm just boiling your water here.
Yeah, huh?
Uh,
Okay, see you in 30 minutes, mate.
yeah.
Okay.